we should reenact Glass-Steagall. The Glass-Steagall Act was enacted as an emergency response to the failure of nearly 5,000 banks during the Great Depression. The economy went back up on track after Glass-Steagall was passed, but it was repealed because there were no financial meltdowns in that period during 1999. Then we had a financial meltdown in 2008 that was worse than over the past 70 years. Senators, it is now time to reinstate the Glass-Steagall for two main reasons. Reason number one, the meltdown of 2008 would never have occurred if Glass-Steagall was never repealed. And reason number two, the Great Recession had many causes, but bad banking practices enabled by repealing Glass-Steagall made them all possible. So starting off with my first reason, the financial meltdown of 2008 would have never occurred if Glass-Steagall was never repealed. According to the U.S. News, the financial crisis might have never happened at all but for the 1999 repeal of Glass-Steagall law that separated commercial and investment banking for 7 decades. Without a return to something like Glass-Steagall, another great catastrophe could occur in just a matter of time. After the Depression of 1920 to 21, the United States embarked on a period of economic prosperity known as the Roaring Twenties. It was a time of innovation in consumer goods such as automobiles, radio, and refrigeration. Along with these goods came new forms of consumer credit and bank expansion. National City Bank and Chase Bank opened offices to sell securities side by side with traditional banking products like deposits and loans. Now, moving on to my second reason. The Great Recession had many causes, but bad banking practices enabled by repealing the Glass-Steagall made them all possible. According to James Richard, a hedge fund manager, in 2012, it is true that the financial crisis has enough blame to go around. Borrowers were reckless, brokers were greedy, customers were naive, and the government encouraged the whole fiasco. Yet, the fact that there were so many parties to blame should not be used to deflect the blame from the most responsible party of all, the big banks. Without the banks providing financial to the mortgage brokers and Wall Street while underwriting their own issues of toxic security, the entire pyramid scheme would never have got off the ground. It was Glass-Steagall that prevented these banks from using insured depositories to underwrite private securities and dump them on their own customers. This ability, along with financial providing to all the other players, was what kept the bubble machine going on. Therefore, Senators, we must pass this bill because Glass-Steagall would have never, if it was never repealed, Glass-Steagall would have prevented the financial meltdown of 2008. Thank you, Senators, and I'm now open to any questions.
All right, the speech was 3 minutes, 2 seconds. Questions?
Senator, don't you believe that the Glass-Steagall Act is going to place financial risks on smaller banks?
Senator, I believe that the Glass-Steagall Act will actually help the smaller banks due to separating them from larger investment banks.
Senator, you said that. Senator, you said that GSA would have prevented the financial meltdown. Could you give a reason and show how it could have prevented the meltdown?
Senator, as I stated in my speech, Glass-Steagall would have prevented it because during that time in the 20s, they had great investments in the economy, and they didn't have a financial meltdown for 70 years until Glass-Steagall was repealed, and then another financial meltdown occurred.
Senator, don't you think the economy of 1930s was a lot different than the economy of today?
Senator, I believe that you're right on that point. However, as we learned from what we did in the past, we improved a lot more. And in the future, even though our economy is different, the new Glass-Steagall Act would adopt to this economy.
All right, thank you.